Welcome back to Good Day. So you see him on this program often. Stories that touch your heart, show the true goodness in people, and maybe have you grabbing at tissue. Amanda recently sat down with St. John's Jesuit grad and CBS correspondent who's on the road in Michigan tomorrow.
Good morning and welcome to Good Day. You're a familiar face to our viewers, and your Kindness 101 and On the Road stories air frequently during the 9 a.m. hour here on WTOL 11. CBS's Steve Hartman joins us this morning. Thanks for taking the time to chat with me today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I always will have time for WTOL TV.
Well, we appreciate that because as we're going to get into here in a moment, you worked for us here a few years ago, and we may or may not have pulled some of those stories from the vault and the archives that we'll show in just a moment. But I think, you know, now people know you obviously for, as I said, On the Road and Kindness 101, and you're finding and reporting on these just beautiful stories. So how did you fall into this niche in your reporting?
Well, it started when I was there at Channel 11 because while everybody else at the station was competing for the lead story, I always wanted to have the story that came at the very end. I just like telling sort of positive, upbeat, fun stories. And it began there in Toledo, and it moved to Minneapolis and New York City and Los Angeles. And eventually, they gave me Charles Kuralt's old job doing On the Road for the CBS Evening News.
And week after week, you generally make me cry, but in a good way. It's always, Amanda, grab the tissues. You're going to need it this time around. But we've also loved your Kindness 101 series as well, getting your kids involved in that. Yeah. So how did all of that come about?
That started back during the pandemic. Actually, before that, I'd heard of teachers who were using the stories in the classroom to teach kindness and character. I would walk into a school sometimes and they would know who I was. And I'd wonder, well, how could that be? You know, our average age is pretty old for the CBS Evening News. But the kids would tell me that, oh, we watch your stories in Miss So-and-so's class. And it kept happening in town after town. And so that gave me the idea once the pandemic hit and kids were at home and teachers were struggling to, you know, fill the void. We did little online classes with my kids because they were around me, and we took my old On the Road stories and repackaged them under different themes of kindness and character, like empathy and compassion, honesty, integrity. And it was just a little online thing. I don't know how many people were even watching, but eventually CBS moved it over to the broadcast. And so now, you know, a few times every fall and spring, we do these lessons that then get repurposed and shown in classrooms around the country, tens of thousands of classrooms. So, you know, I feel like I found a higher calling with how the stories are being reworked now.
That's amazing, and I didn't know that part of it. I didn't know that they were being shown in the classroom, so that is incredible to have that reach and to have that impact on kids. And I also like that you kind of go back and you circle back with these folks and get an update on how everything's going. That's really cool too, because I think we're like, oh, I wonder how they're doing now.
Yeah, and I wonder too. I mean, I stay in touch with all of them. They all have my cell phone number, and they all reach out to me. But, you know, I'm always curious what they're up to, and I know viewers are too. So that's why we do updates on stories every once in a while, and especially for the Kindness 101 episodes. We always revisit and do little Zoom interviews to see what's new. And a lot of times, a lot has changed. The stories that we do, you know, changes their life direction in some cases. Yeah,
it's just amazing. We look forward to airing them here on WTOL 11. And speaking of Channel 11, we've got a couple stories, as I mentioned. Now, tell me if you remember this story. It's about a chicken, well, sort of. I think we're going to play a little clip here.
Whatever you do, don't look in the rearview mirror.
Come on. Come on. What are you worried about? Get in there. You act like people are going to stare at you or something.
That's a blast from the past, huh?
Oh, great. Yeah, me with the giant chicken. That's just something I was very eager for you to show that story. That's just great. I'm glad that you resurrected that so people can see it. I'm so proud of that work.
March 7th of 1986.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
Yeah, I did a lot of goofier stories back then.
But I mean, obviously attention grabbing.
They were attention grabbing, maybe not for the right reasons, but You know, those are, I've sort of taken my career in a different direction, but I have some of those stories. I don't have that one, but I have some of those stories, and sometimes I just go back and shake my head like, what were you thinking?
What were you thinking? We also had, I think it was a PBS ad from January of 1986.
They want you to watch their station.
We want you to watch our station. Of course, you probably knew that, but now Channel 30 wants to run these ads on Toledo 11, and we're going to let them.
Oh, remember those tape decks? Was that a beta?
Was that me? What happened to that hair?
Oh, you
I know what happened to that jacket. I think it went to Goodwill shortly after, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I'm sure somebody got a lot of use out of it, at least, you know. I mean, just thanks for allowing us to pick on you a little bit this morning. And you're going to be in the area. You're going to be in Rochester, Michigan tomorrow for a speaking engagement. So what can people expect with that?
Well, I've been invited to Oakland University in Rochester, Michigan, there to sort of talk about, show some favorite stories. I won't be including any of the ones that you showed, but I'll be showing some of my favorite stories and giving the backstory and some insight and a lot of laughs and a lot of tears, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. It's just a chance to get together and meet folks and get to know me a little bit better, and for me to share some stories that never made it on television. And tickets are still available if anybody wants to go.
Okay, so again, that's in Rochester, Michigan. It's a little bit of a drive here, but not all that far. So if people want to get tickets to that for Tuesday, you know, as you said, you're going to be sharing some things that they haven't seen before. So bring the tissues,
and anybody who makes the drive, let's say anybody who comes up there, I will give a shout out. I'll have them stand up. We'll make eye contact. We'll bond as best we can, and because that's quite a ways. That's like over an hour. So anybody who goes to the trouble, I'm going to say hi to.
Very
you
good.
can find tickets at www.speakerseries.com.
Okay.
the letter E, speakerseries.com.
Yeah, make sure to do that. It was great catching up with you, and again, thanks for letting us pick on you a little bit. But everything, you bring a lot of joy, and as I said, some tears, you know, but in a good way, to a good day here on WTOL 11. So it's wonderful to chat with you and catch back up with you.
Thanks so much. Great to see you again, too.
Yes, you too. Take care.
Bye-bye.
And we'll be back with some more Good Day right after this. Stay with us.